with a round of applause. Join me as we welcome God's choice servant, my father, Apostle Michael Orokpo. People didn't just wake up and started advocating. No. There was a reference point in history when it started. That was when that civilization came. There was a time when functionaries brought that intelligence to men. And this is how these guys function. When they want to bring the influence of a city, principalities are the ones that go first. And the way principalities work is that they are negotiators. When they come into the territory, they identify the physical functionaries that are there. I'm showing you why this thing is an intelligent warfare. Because the heavens belong to God. The earth he has given to the sons of men. So Babylon can't just enter as a nation. No. There are people who open the door. Egypt cannot just enter a society. There are people who cooperated with their will to open the door. So when principalities show up, what they do is that first of all, they identify the stakeholders in the territory. Because not everybody can even do kingdom business. You know, there are some negotiations now that the country goes into. It is done and concluded in the parliament. You just hear it on the news. Whether you like it or not, it's not a factor. They will just tell you now they have changed immigration law. Because it's officials that enter negotiation. So what principalities do is that they come into the territory and they look for stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? They are the people that have a priesthood in the spirit. People who are already engaging in the realm. So they begin to negotiate with them. For instance, as we are seated here now, maybe 7 people are prophetic. Since they came into this meeting, they've seen visions. Not every of us have seen vision. Some of us have not even seen one since this year began. Because we don't have those horns. But there are some that in this service alone, they've seen 3 visions. They are prophetic. You know, the challenge with the prophetic people is that their emotional threshold is high. Because they need that oil to flow through their emotion. So when a principality comes here, he looks for the person who is prophetic and he begins to tempt him with seduction. That same prophetic person, if he's a male, he may have noticed 3 ladies already that walked in. You will not even know what is happening. And he will go back and say, Kai, the temptation is difficult. The temptation now is that. And you are wondering, what temptation is that? The principality is using the threshold of his emotion. The same thing that helps him to see into the spirit. The principality is trying to pervert it by turning his attention to the direction of emotion. If that guy's priesthood is not strong and he allows himself to be lured, what will happen is that he would have been recruited. A point will now come, they will use him as part of the doorway into the city. Because anywhere that man prophesies, he's releasing the energy of that spirit that is also, because that seduction is not emotion, it's not sin, it's not just a sin, it's also an act of worship. Every time you commit immorality, you are worshiping the spirit. Because praise and worship is not just God, you are good. That's why I began by telling you worship is alignment to the will of his spirit. So if you are prophetic and you allow your emotions to be affected and you get into immorality, every time you commit that immorality, as you stand on the stage to prophesy, you are releasing seductive energy into the spirit. Those who are apostolic are people of authority. You see that your faith level is so strong. When these spirits come, they will suggest things to you. Is it this church that they can be sending you up and down? Come on, get out. How can they be talking to you like that? Because they know that the grace you carry is one that releases a lot of energy and power. So it makes you function almost like a military person. It's an apostolic spirit. They will build arrogance, build ego, build pride into you. If you allow that pride dominate you, you will now notice that when you are talking, you are not talking what God is saying. You are talking from pride. The more you release that energy, the more you create an atmosphere. So when the principality succeeds in saturating the environment, then the powers will come. The word powers is the word exousia. Their job is to make people become slaves of the systems that have been created. So you now discover that because the prophet slept with 3 people, immorality becomes part of the church. You now come, you hear that, oh, the choir leader has slept with 4 people. And before you know, he enters the society. And the more people become enslaved, a point will even come, you will discover that immorality becomes part of the culture. Cohabiting is normal. So when you like somebody, he moves in. You say, where's your girlfriend? He has moved in. She has not moved in. Both of you are living in immorality. Forget the modern names we give it. You have not moved in. You are in immorality. You now discover that thing that began with 1, 2, 3, 5 prophets is now the culture. And so long as people keep moving in, the powers will be there and they will be strong. And when the powers finish, then the rulers come. The word rulers of darkness is cosmocratos. Their job is that they are lawgivers. When it gets to the level where rulers come, at that time it has become the people's culture. That's why today, even marriage is a show. People have been living together for 7 years. They now say, why not get married? They go to a poolside. They just do the whole church service is a show. And it doesn't mean anything. After 2, 3 weeks, 3 months, I'm tired, man. This is not working. And they go. You are tired. It's not working. It has become a culture. What you are seeing there is the signature of a ruler. And so long as those cultures continue, that territory will be in darkness. Then the point comes, then the spiritual wickedness shows up. They are called those ones are called poneria. They are the ones who bring sickness, death, corruption, evil. Because that's where the devil judges men. So when we talk about territorial takeover, it's a system that we undo the protocol that principalities, powers, rulers of the darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness have created. So a territory has not yet been taken except cohabiting stop. Except I love this person and you have the same sex, stop. Except as corruption stops. Because all of those things are the things that give those princes power. That's why when we stand and we declare, we take over, they are just looking at us. Do you know what you are saying? we took 15 years to build this system. We took 20 years to build this system. Are you ready for it? It's a serious business. And that is why it's not something that anybody can just come and say, we will take. No. Because if you will, if you know it, what you are saying, it may take your whole lifetime. Some of us prayer. Some of us evangelizing. Some of us going into government to write new policies. To stop the old policies that created room. So it's not a 5-day thing. So when we are talking territory takeover, we will not even look at the territory first. We'll look at the men. Because you need to raise men who have the capacity to take territories. Because it's a complex spiritual algorithm that has been weaved. It has become a culture. And it is when it became a culture that the princes sat down, that they have done their job. We will have to deculturate them. So you need to know that there are spiritual cities, and you need to know that there are spiritual entities. And these beings, you don't cast them out. They are not demons. They are fallen angels. That's why Paul didn't say, cast out principalities and power. He said, we wrestle with them. We wrestle. But if you have not even built capacity to do 5 days prayer, how can you fight a battle that will take 5 years? Because if we are talking territory takeover, we will need some people on the altar for 10 years. But the Christianity we have built is not even a Christianity where people think prayer is necessary. They only pray when they want to travel or when they need a contract. They only pray when... So that means the architecture we have now is not built to take cities. If we want to take cities, we need to raise new set of Christians. And these ones will not be children, they will be sons. Because when you become a son, you begin to think about the agenda of God. And so you will dedicate your life to fulfilling that agenda. For some of us, we will strive to become members of parliament, not because we need the title of a senator, but for the 15 years that will be there, we will fight until we change one policy. It may not be many, one, but that one policy you have changed, you are a warrior. It will preserve a generation for 50 years. Some of us will become intercessors. And because we're intercessors, we'll pray for 15 years. And the whole prayer is for United Kingdom to be delivered. Nobody may know you. Because it's not about who is the popular preacher? When we are talking kingdom and territory takeover, popularity is not a gift, it's a burden. You may be on the altar for 15 years crying because the prayer you are praying is what will encourage the politician. So you are generating fuel. And then some of us, God will give us skill to make money. But the money we are making is not so that we can build houses for ourselves. Now, there's nothing wrong in having houses. You can build as much as you want. But the money you are making is to sponsor kingdom agenda. So when somebody is pursuing a bill, what do you need? You support. If somebody is praying, don't worry. Food is not prayer. It's not from today. Don't pray for food. You provide food. So you are like the equalizer, equilibrator of what is going on. You support the one who is a government. You support the one who is on the altar. You now discover that we must also build a system if we will counter the one in darkness. But this Christianity of selfish and self-centered people, how can we achieve it? The guy who needs to pray can't pray because he has desire for self-preservation. He has desire for self-aggrandizement. The one God has given money thinks he has become the God among men. Everybody should lie down to greet him. Meanwhile, you are providing money. Another one is providing prayer. Another one is providing policy. All of us are the same. We just have different weapons. But if we are not sons, we will not know. So the guy who has money thinks it's important. And today, even when we come to church, we think prayer is for the poor. We don't know that we are in different departments. The real department is not choir. The real department is in the spirit. Based on what God gave us. Some have resources to sponsor kingdom. Others have prayer to push kingdom. Others have voices to preach the burden of God. It is that corporate functioning that creates a quorum for territory takeover. So
Welcome to Anagkazwatch TV. Anagkazwatch TV be a great team and work on life transforming messages that will bring you into realms of divine encounter with the world of the truth. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share our videos. God bless you.